Hi everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Unexpected lunch live show. Welcome guys, welcome back. I apologize last night. I was planning to come on last night, but guys, uh unexpected circumstance kicked in. I had a emergency consultation with a person, and I'm very glad that he reached out. I not always available for this, but that was life saving, so I couldn't say no. And that was a situation connected with the whole visa and travel fraud, and so I probably saved him about $3,000 was investing in 1 hour of my time. So it went well. So I'm glad that I did that. Hi, Bronson. Can you hear me? Good to see you. Good to see you. So welcome, guys. So I promised you, and I told you that I will make the videos from your questions. So today we are going to talk about how to meet Ukrainian women in the United States. Where to meet. Умничка, молодец. Thank you, спасибо. Where to meet them, and what are the chances and what moves you need to make. So, and you guys feel free to add. Maybe you know something I don't know, but the question came from the young guy. He's 25 or 26. And he's been asking me for 2 years now how to meet Ukrainian women in the United States. Mm, First of all, you have very low chance if you live in a rural area, or you live in a very country uh, style place. Like for example, small town Michigan is not exactly the best place to meet Russian or Ukrainian women, but at the same time, if you make a little bit of research, you will learn that, for example, in Michigan there is a big Russian Ukrainian and all Russian speakers community. Um, Armenians, Georgian, Belarusian, all kinds of people. Um, in Ann Arbor area, it's a big huge Russian community here, and so even if you are in Michigan, okay, I'm trying to find the light. So even if you are in state like Michigan, even if you are, oh my gosh, I'm dying. So yes, here it would be Ann Arbor and areas. There is a huge Russian community. They even have Russian school and Russian daycare. So that should tell you something. I kind of wish I would know about this years ago. They actually asked their county, because there were so many Russian speakers and they want to keep the language for their children. They voted, and they have Russian school and Russian daycare, Ann Arbor, Michigan. So that's one of the biggest places for Russian speakers, not just the Russian people, but just Russian speakers. So all of us post-USSR, children of the post-USSR. So that is, you have to find a place, you have to basically research and move. Because as far as I understand, the guy who was asking me, he lives somewhere like in the middle of nowhere. And yes, it's impossible. You have to move. And honestly, if I would be a 26-year-old guy, I would focus on learning the language. I would join language website when you can have a pen pal, or I think Bronson, could you recommend a website, because I know that's how you met your wife. um, you can join the language learning website, so you can, because the younger you are, the more possibilities is that you will have. The younger you are, there is more possibilities that you will learn language a little bit, and that's always helpful. All right. So then, if I would be in that space, what I would do is I would make sure I'm making good money, and that is the most important thing, guys. If you are in your 20s, I have some younger men, I have actually quite a bit younger guys now who watching my videos too. I think the youngest was like 19, so it's kind of interesting how this works. So if I would be that age and that gender, so I would definitely focus on making money. I would focus on my career. So no matter what happens, I can move to a more prominent area, I can pay for the rent, and I can save some money for the family, because Russian and Ukrainian women expect you to be a provider. You know, if your career is going okay, if you grown in your career, you can move to different areas in the United States. And I'm gonna read, guys in the chat are telling me the areas. So once again, guys, if it comes to Michigan, for example, it's definitely Ann Arbor, Michigan. You when you get to that area, you check out Russian church. It usually would be called like a Christian Orthodox. It can be called Greek church. It's Orthodox Christian church. That's the place they always have events. They always have things going on. So you can join the church. Number one, that's how you meet people. You check out the Russian store. It's not always called Russian store. It can be called, like in Lansing we have international and American bulk food, but it's actually Russian store, and the owners are from Armenia. Um, and you check out, you can make friends at the store. You can put your business card, if you can just make friends. But really the best way is probably look out for events, because in any prominent Russian Ukrainian communities, they're going to be gatherings for Christmas. They're going to be New Year's gatherings. They're going to be some kind of ball. Also performances. There are going to be some comedy shows. There are going to be some Russian artists coming. So as far as I know, again, there is New York, obviously. There is Brighton, when there is a lot of Russian Jewish people. You can find signs in Russian in Brighton. Sunny Isles, Florida, Miami. Let's see, South California, Chicago, Denver. Yes, so it has to be. Russian and Ukrainian people do not like living in the middle of nowhere. I'm gonna repeat that again. Russian and Ukrainian people do not like living in the middle of nowhere. So if I would be a young guy, I would focus on my career, move somewhere where my career takes me, so I can double or triple my income, so I can afford living in the higher economical states, and just join the local events, church, once again, church, Russian stores, and there are some just Russian communities. Like I've heard in Sunny Isles, there are Sunny Isles in Florida, they have even the science in Russian. So there is a lot of places in Florida and California and New York and Chicago, or near Chicago. There is Ukrainian village near Chicago. So, but one thing that bothers me about this question, guys, though, is that you don't want to be like this little dog, trying to sniff out, because just because they are living here, it doesn't necessarily means automatically they want to date you or they're remotely interested in you. You have to also remember one thing, that people who live here, they have a different standard of life. Their mentality also change at times. So they might be open to meet you, they might be not. I get letters from guys who telling me, Veronica, they are so mean, they don't want to talk to me. You have to understand that you are not interesting for everybody. Some people would love to talk to you and get to know you. Some people just really not, right? You just have to accept it for what it is. But once again, if you make money, you can go to any country in the world, you can meet more people. You can meet somebody here. You have options. When you focus on your career, you have options. You don't want to be like a little puppy, like, "Oh, I'm hoping maybe this time, maybe that time." You don't want to come out from an energy. And I'm not saying that this is that I'm describing the person who asked me this question. No, absolutely not. I'm just saying in general, from the letters that I get, a lot of men kind of having this energy of, please give me like puppy. I don't have a dog, but I observe dogs and I know how excited they are about the treats, and like, please, please, I'm begging you, I'll do anything. The eyes of a dog when they like, hoping for a little bite of something. You don't want to be in that energy. When you are a successful man, you won't have a problem finding somebody. If you have preferences, if you like more of the traditional women, by the way, you can find women like this in any country too. Don't be so obsessed about necessarily meeting somebody from another country. I can tell you that the mentality differences are real and they are very difficult. So the older you are, that's also something to consider, that it is very difficult to adjust to a completely different mentality. I just want you to, sorry guys, oh, this is my fur is getting in my nose. It's not easy, the thing about being older, for people who follow me, in the mature age, it's difficult to adjust to certain mentalities that are different than yours. Therefore, meeting lady in who already lives here in US, who knows a little bit of US culture, and who doesn't maybe need your help in everything, could be um, a choice for you. So, I have a lot of men on the other side who are in their 50s and 60s, and they're just really hoping to settle down with somebody finally and just makes it their last relationship, because maybe they were married before, and, or maybe not. So, whatever it is, guys, you have to understand that it's not that easy. And when you bring somebody, it is a big responsibility. So, there are definitely pluses and getting to know somebody who is already here, but the choices are limited, okay? Because a lot of women who are here, they're already married. A lot of them want to have nothing to do with you. They have their own plans. They might have somebody, they might pursue career and things like that. I want to tell you guys, please don't be like that. Sometimes when I go out, I go to the store or I go to any social events, people, I mean men, really, would just follow me, and they think it's so amusing that I have an accent, and oh, it is so rare, and it's very annoying because you don't want to be like this. Who can help me to find the word? You don't want it to be this a little unusual um, thing that somebody adores. It's very, very annoying when people try to tease your accent, when people try to ask you questions like, oh, so are you married? How many years have you been here? Where do you live? Do you have kids? How do you like it here? All these questions, they are normal questions, but they're very annoying because the person you're approaching, she gets these questions every single time she goes out. Once again, every single time she goes out, she gets these questions. And then, oh, I realized the word I want to say, exotic. So when I live in mid-Michigan, even though I live near the capital and I often go out, it's still, it's not that sophisticated area as, let's say, Ann Arbor. And wherever I go, when people hear my accent, or, if I dress up cute, I'm going to enjoy myself for a minute, I can't, because people surround me often, not all the time, but often, and I feel like this exotic little bird, and people in men try to get into my business, get my phone number, um, all kinds of things, and it is very Ukrainian women want to be seen as an individual. Yes, she might have some unique things about her, you can make her a compliment, but you have to know that every other person tells you that she has cute accent, that she is pretty. So you have to find a way to not be annoying and follow her and just being an idiot basically. You can see I'm mad because it just happened to me recently when I was trying to have a good time. So I would just say this: try to interest person in something. Share a little bit about you. Don't make them feel like they are that exotic, because you can tell that later. Okay, you can show them that you're interested, but try to avoid this very common questions. Just try to, what would you talk if you would not ask person like what they do, or how many years they've been here, or do they like it here? Just find a way to have more natural. Try to find a more natural way to approach somebody and create trust. Tell them about what you're doing, and just if you see that the woman is now responding, leave her alone. She sometimes just wants to be herself, and she's sick and tired of people. I don't know. I'm done. I hope you got my point, guys. I'm gonna tell more later in more private setting what's been going on. Oh my gosh, no, Noel, you're hilarious. Well, but it's true though. I'm not a celebrity, but it's true though in terms of where I live, there is not so much going on, and um, people very sort of charmed or mesmerized by you, even if you're not trying. They literally stop doing what they're doing, and just will make you. Will try to have a conversation with you, and guys, it's okay, but just remember that be a little bit more tactful. Yes, if the conversations allowed, if she is if she is engaging with you, if your eyes lit up when you are around, if she is open, if you talk to her and she is open to it, and she is, yes, you can talk, and you can make an acquaintance and take you out, and get to know her. She might not be the one, but you can get to know somebody. But if she is truly annoyed, stop. You have to find the way of appreciation that she appreciates. I might have to make a video series on that, because I can't really tell this in a half an hour video or 20-minute video. So anyway, guys, I'm sorry I went on on a tangent, but it happens often, and it's just it's just not very fun. No, you're killing me today. Yes, well, I guess so. Yes. Uh, Ukrainian women are different from other women, especially when you live in a state like Michigan or any other. You can definitely see a Russian and Ukrainian woman in a room. They will carry themselves differently. Their clothes is going to match. They're gonna probably look feminine, and hold their posture and things like that, because people told me these things, and um, I also noticed them myself about other ladies. When I see an attractive lady, somewhere 95% that she is from post USSR. That's just the reality. Sometimes other women try to dress up nicely, but sometimes like their clothes can look very vulgar. They try to be attractive and you know appealing, but sometimes they just don't know how to do it, and it looks very vulgar. So anyway, you have to be able to be more comfortable, and once again, if you have the money, you can travel. and you can understand uh, what Ukrainian, Russian, and post-USSR people coming from. If you travel, you will travel to Kiev, Ukraine, for example, and you will see that people taking a lot better care of, of how they look. They men too, not only women. You will just understand better, because one thing that men make a big mistake when they do, they maybe don't mean to do it, I'm not sure, but sometimes I feel like trying to be, sometimes they admire you and that is nice, but sometimes they kind of trying to belittle you a little bit. They're like, well, so you like it here, isn't that this a lot better than over there? Or things like that, you basically have to be so happy that you are here. And what's the reason Ukraine, just some agricultural place. And these people obviously ignorant, even if they are successful and they have a career, it's obvious they've never been out of the country, and it's not very pleasant. You want to lift up the person. I am more likely to talk to somebody who talks to me naturally with the good feelings and positive feelings and admiration, and just wants to know, um, about the country, about the culture. Of course, I'm more likely to melt and open up and talk to them over somebody that comes and kind of shows that, oh, you're just lucky to be here. Kind of that attitude, you're lucky to be here. So, and I'm You see, the one country is not better than another. We are offering different things. There are Ukrainians and Russians who dying to come to US and be here and do anything just to be here. But there is also a lot of Americans that would do anything to visit Europe and would do anything to enjoy what, Europe offers. So there is always benefits. Yes, the ideal country, it would be uniting Russia and Ukraine and America and Belarus and Italy in one, taking all the beautiful things in one, but it doesn't exist. So you have to consider that. Yes, your heart melts when somebody, I have to say though, when somebody that you possibly is pleasant to you, comes to you and, find a delicate way to make you feel good. And if you see that she's smiling, or she's open for a conversation, then you have a chance to connect. But if you are talking to her nonstop, she's not gonna like that. How do I know? Hi guys, welcome back everybody. They're scared of Ukrainian women's attractiveness. That's why I need to pull some power back. Well, I don't know. I don't know if you can be scared of attractiveness. I think attractiveness make you feel good. When I see a handsome man, I'm not scared. It's something totally different. I mean, when a man see a beautiful woman, I think he's kind of excited, and I think he's kind of woo. It's that thing that makes you feel alive. I wouldn't say scared. That is insulting. Yes, when somebody looks down at you, that is exciting. Oh, you're from Ukraine, you must be poor, or oh, you talk funny. Guys, is it true that men are scared of too much attractiveness? I don't know about that. I'm not saying that I know, because I cannot get into your experience, but if you are scared, let's say you're just uncomfortable, you have to talk to more women. Just talk to women in general. Smile when you go out in appropriate circumstance. But once again, to get the training, you probably be best to go to Ukraine and speak to people, or Russia, or wherever you want to go and speak to people, because confidence is a muscle. All right. Hey, Aaron, thank you. Aaron is saying hello, the best teacher in the land. Thank you, Aaron. You're very generous as usually. And appreciative, shall I say. All right. So, yeah, so answering Jake's question about how to meet or where to meet, women in United States who live here, one of the ways is definitely to one of the ways is definitely to move to a more sophisticated area where there is more going on. Moving to sophisticated area where there is more going on. That is my preferable thing. The other alternative is to go online. Now, for example, on Facebook, there are many, many, many groups for expats, people from post USSR, and they post things and they connect with people, they connect with each other. If you have time for this, you can join the Facebook groups with Russians and Ukrainians who live in US. You can. Um, Personally, for me, I don't have time to do any groups, whatever, whatsoever. I'm trying to do as little social media as humanly possible. But that is just my own perspective. I would not want to spend years of trying to chase somebody on a Facebook from the Facebook page. They might even be married. Guys, Facebook is a fake book. It's really fake for in many ways. You never know. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I'm so tired. I love technology, but I'm so tired of it. I cannot imagine a man having a busy career and him sitting there on Facebook trying to search for Ukrainian women in the US. I kind of feel contradiction in that. If you are a busy man, you have goals, you're building wealth so you can acquire a family, you're probably not going to spend 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a day searching like a little, like a little search dog, okay, where it's just, there is kind of a desperation in that. I would consider once again moving to a more sophisticated area, finding church. Yes, exactly. You can be in New York. You can be in Florida, in California. You can even be in a place like Michigan. As I said, Ann Arbor, Michigan is a place to meet or just enjoy Russian communities. They have plenty of events and things going on. So yes, that is another thing. But that is another thing, like if you are the kind of guy who if you're the kind of guys that you're all day on Facebook anyway, and you met some people from the expat groups. By the way, don't make a fool out of yourself when you are in these groups and give them advice like how to live or what to do, because a lot of people have been living here for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. So only answer, don't try to teach them and ask them, basically, don't try to be a teacher, because sometimes people who don't have the social experience, they come to expats groups and they try to show them things, but people who've been here for decades, they already know their way around. So that's just a side note. So anyway, there is also a third way to meet Russian and Ukrainian women in the United States. There are marriage agencies, there are matchmakers, and there are online websites. Online websites can be often fraud, because some of the scammers from Russia figured out that they can register on American websites and come out as if they're living here, and then once you already into them, all of a sudden they're all the way in Russia and you need to send them money for tickets. So that's a whole different story. So there is a lot of fraud, unfortunately, on local American dating websites with that. Matchmakers and marriage agencies, they sometimes have events. So that's something to consider. Events, Ukrainian women in US singles events. I know there are a couple of agencies that are doing that, but I really can't recommend. I don't know them. But when you're 26 years old, you don't need freaking agencies. Seriously, I'm just saying the truth. You won't even have anybody your age to date there. Okay, if you're like in your 20s, you probably won't find anybody in those agencies because they're gonna be for more mature people. So local matchmakers, I think, worth of your time. Yes, if you are, like, let's say you're in Miami and you go to a local matchmaker, you might be able. I made an interview with Ella some time ago. Yes, she would know some Russian girls, who are available and living in the area. So yes, it investing in a matchmaker that is local, have a good reputation. You can go on a date right there, face to face. That's a pretty good option. That's a pretty good option. So yes, there are definitely perks. There are definitely good things about a meeting somebody locally, but it's also harder because people often they have their own life, and um, they're not necessarily looking for the marriage, but they might be looking for it, but they might not be looking for you. You guys have to understand that a lot of times when a woman tells you that she is not in a time of her life right now, blah blah, it's total bullshit. It means that she just doesn't want you. Sorry for my French, but as you know, I keep it real, and occasional bad word can come out. If the lady tells you, oh, you know what, it's just not the time, it's the same as you say, when you are just dating somebody out of convenience, you tell her, oh, um, my focus is right now on my career, in all those BS. But what you really mean is that she is not the one you really want. Well, ladies are no different. Ladies are no different. When she tells you, well, the timing is not right, my grandma is not in a nursing home yet, or my child had not graduated yet, it means that basically, yes, I want marriage, but I don't want it with you. Or I want a serious relationship, but I don't want it with you. Women are very sensitive about telling you the truth. Well, unless they, have been in contact with me. I think truth makes things a lot easier. So, guys, that's it. It's over 30 minutes, so I'm answering questions. Tonight, I'm gonna post some stuff for those of you who are supporting my creativity on Patreon. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have some videos and that are gonna be private just from me. Something I don't really want to talk necessarily on the public, but also I'm gonna post videos that I think that very helpful, that are very informative and show great examples and kind of support the knowledge. And these videos, some of them are going to be open for public, so even if you're not a paid member, you can comment and take part in a discussion. So that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm trying to get away from Facebook in terms of groups, but it's an experiment. A lot of people find Facebook very easy, so maybe we'll have both. But a lot of my subscribers don't use Facebook too. So I will still do Facebook Live videos, but I know that a lot of people who have business, who doing things, they do not want to receive endless notifications, and also they want to comment in private because they don't want their relatives or colleagues seeing them in their private life. All right, I'm gonna read some of you guys. Thanks for joining. Thank you for the likes. Okay. Okay, it's not unusual for attractive American women to be left alone because guys surely do not have a chance. Okay. Lauren's saying I would be a bit nervous to have a beautiful woman at first. Well, I don't know. I think I understand where you guys coming from, but if you're not comfortable with beautiful women, date ugly women. Maybe you'll be comfortable or more comfortable. It's really weird, you know. You say you want something and then you're afraid of it. Well, you gotta do something. You gotta get some social skills. Thanks, New York City, Monshare Mike. Um, much love from New York City. Great. Yes. He's saying I have Slavic friends in New York City, in Brighton Beach, Coney Island, and Brooklyn. Yeah, there is lots of Russian community here. Hey, King Nero. Hey, Stan. How are you? Welcome back. Jerry Butler is saying hello, Veronica. I'm listening from Texas. Hey, Texas. I love Texas. Yes, Ukrainians are very friendly once you get to know them. Very true. Okay, Bronson is saying so true. Haha, when I met mine, I dropped everything and moved to another country. Yes, when Bronson met his wife, by the way, it was he shared there was a website italki and Busu or something like that where you can have a language mm, pen pen pal. You know, you can do that and you can just learn some language skills. That's if you're younger and you have time and your brain still can learn. Um, so it doesn't mean you're gonna meet your wife, but this is how Bronson met his wife. We have an interview with them, and he dropped everything and gotten his chance. So yes, we're gonna record some more videos with Bronson for you guys because it's a really inspiring story. But you know, you cannot be in a desperation. You're not gonna be walking on the streets. Okay, where are Ukrainian women? You know, you're not gonna be like an idiot. You know, you you have to find some events. You have to make friends, but it's not that easy. It's not. The truth will set you free. That's right. I'm not afraid of a beautiful woman. That's not what I meant. The beauty and femininity of Russian and Ukrainian women cannot be equaled. I agree. I think honestly, overall, you know, not of course all the women are like this, but I think it's something that we learn. You know, how to be gentle, how to be tender, but also we know how to be tough and fierce. That's one of the things you guys maybe somewhat underestimate because we know how to be tough and fierce when it comes to our security, safety, and things like that. We're gonna let you lead, but if you drop it, we're gonna figure out how to protect ourselves. Beautiful, gentle, feminine, but yet fierce. Trust me. All right, let's see. Somebody's saying a learning curve, but the effort's worth it. That's why I married one. Yeah. You need to know what you want. You know, once you know what you want, you can create strategies to get it. But most important things, guys, and I said it before, for a man is a career. When you have a good career, when you take care of yourself, when you have some money in the bank, you can provide. Because if you're not ready, you know, if you're struggling, you meet this lady tomorrow. What can you offer to her? You cannot move to a different place, you cannot travel, you have to fix. I have a lot of people that uh saving money during the year to go to Ukraine, and they are like in their mid 50s. You can't afford. If you need to save for a ticket to go the whole during the year, it just only means you can't afford it. You need a job or something. I mean, guys, I don't see a reason to be sugarcoating. If you've been with me that far, you know that that's not my style. I just say it how it is, and it works. It works for many people. If you want to hear um, something sweet, come another day. If you wanna hear something sweet, switch off my channel. No, I'm just I'm looking at guys who I'm looking at the guys who got sorry guys, I'm really uncomfortable. I lost my tripod, so so what was I trying to say? Look at the guys who got scammed. Look at the guys who spend years and years and years of life chasing somebody who never cared to begin with. I'm gonna post on Patreon the TLC, some of the TLC series on 90 Day Fiancé. That particular guy who spent years chasing things. If he would consult with me, I would tell him on the first meeting that he's wasting his time. And it's not because I have a crystal ball. It's because it's obvious. And I don't even know how people can be so in denial. But being in denial will never help you. Being in denial will never help you to achieve your goal. Yeah, well, if you can check out. I'm gonna post the links a little bit later. In an hour or so, you will see links under this video. Um, we're gonna be discussing this on Patreon. We also will um, just go through these examples, so you can just really see a real example of something. If you can't afford to travel, most women will find you. What? Sorry. Will find you boring. Yeah, true. Don't normally watch. Yeah, I don't normally watch too, but I'm trying to see things for you. And by the way, I realized they contacted me from the show 90 Days Fiancé. It went to my like a spam folder, and I think I thought it was a spam, but it actually was real. I got contacted from 90 Days Fiancé show, I think last year. I was just going through my mail. I was like, wow. So they were asking about certain people if I can recommend certain people to take place in the show because they knew what my channel was about. So um, I just found that out. So, anyways, guys, yes, you could potentially meet somebody here. It's possible. There are ways to do it. If you need a particular individual strategy, you should reach out to me in person, and I'll see what I can do for you. Because remember, I only give a general advice. Reality is, guys, you need a decent salary. Remember, you have to support your lady when she comes here, plus her children or your children together. Also, you need to travel to meet her. It takes work and effort. Yes. Right, I know. I'm I thought it was a scam with the TLC show, but I looked up some things and I realized no, it was not a scam. So I'm sure they will be happy to hear from me 1 year later. But I probably will actually reply just to let them know that I missed that email. Yes, I was very surprised that people from TLC 90 Days Fiancé know my channel, and also that people in American Embassy in Ukraine watching my channel. So I'm very humbled and honored. And also, I was told that some people share that they've been watching my videos before they came to Ukraine, and they share this in the embassy. So that is very, very inspiring. Yeah, I see some of you guys have traveling plans. That's awesome. So, alright, guys, from Michigan with love, I'm gonna enjoy my finally calm afternoon, more or less. I was working on the emergency or urgent stuff yesterday and just couldn't come live because I wasn't alive, I was dead. So, guys, from Michigan with love, have a beautiful Tuesday. I will see you soon. Post your questions. Um, I hope I answered Jay's question. And he will start doing what he wants to do. Thank you for the participation, and thank you so very much for uh, your kind words, feedback, and sharing the videos. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you.